Universal laws. This is something you'll hear people deep into spirituality, deep into mysticism talk about, and that's because they're sort of the spiritual version of the laws of nature, the laws of just how things work in general, kind of like the laws of physics from the spiritual perspective. In a way. And what I find most interesting about universal laws is that it doesn't matter how spiritual or not, how religious or not you are, we are all affected by them every single day. Welcome back to another video. I'm Ann Blackwood, your Silicon Valley Sage Sister, here to bring consciousness to the forefront of your daily life to make life a little kinder and simpler. I put this quote up. It comes from a friend of mine, and I remember thinking to myself when she said it, yes, this is so true. Because if you really think about it, metaphysics are just physics we don't understand yet. They're just magic throughout history. All too often has been science that we just eventually understood differently. Even now, there are things in science that we are discovering are more magical or different than we thought they were, like the law of gravity. We're coming to find out we don't understand like we once thought we did. Maybe still a little bit of magic left in the law of gravity we have yet to understand as science. And really, all science is an understanding of something that can be proven through repetitive action that achieves the same result every time. The universal laws are one of those things that through repetitive action we have come to understand by achieving the same result from that understanding every time. Things like the law of attraction, which have become popularized over the years. People don't even realize how far back that goes. Napoleon Hill wrote Think and Grow Rich, where he called it The Secret, which is where The Secret got its title. And now we understand it as the law of attraction. But I can think back to when I was a kid, hearing people say things like, if you love something, let it go, and if it's meant to be yours, it'll come back to you. Or even I at 14 would explain to people things that I had come to understand just from living life, which was that those people who were so desperate to find love in their life, to have love in their life, would only finally find it once they had let go of that desperation, let go of the idea of finding someone at all, and that is when that person would magically appear. But it's not magic. It's the universal laws at work. Again, things like the law of attraction. I also talk about the law of abundance. And that's the interesting thing about the universal laws, as I talk about and have said before, you can discover them in many religions and religious texts if you just pay attention and are willing to put two and two together. Like in the Kara tradition that I have been privileged to study, we have what we call Aini, which is the law of abundance, sacred reciprocity, giving without the expectation of receiving in return, and thus having more in your life, more abundance in your life than you would have otherwise. We call it the law of Amra in Rosicrucianism. We have things like the law of accident that I talk about. Those people who just feel like they have constant chaos in their lives, but once they slow down once they heal, some refer to it as a spiritual awakening, and not even so much heal as just start being open to healing. The law of accident applies less and less and less. They talk about this in the fourth way, which is another mystery school that I have been privileged to study in. All of these universal laws, and there are many of them, just like the law of gravity, just like other laws of physics, we are subject to every day, whether we are religious or spiritual or not. Like I said, with the law of accident, people who go from living these chaotic lives to life just feeling more at ease and the universe more on their side don't realize that what they've done is raised their vibration, because there's a point where you raise your vibration enough that you are no longer subject to the law of accident. And you don't have to be religious or spiritual at all for this to happen. You don't have to realize it's happening, just like other laws of nature that we have come to understand. Every day, I dedicate myself to studying, discovering all of these universal laws. Because, like I said, I was studying them and discovering them before I even knew they had a name. And that's one of the things I find most fascinating, is that we are subject to these metaphysics that we just don't understand yet. And even when we do understand them, we don't even realize always what we're coming to understand. If there's one thing I want to leave you all with to wrap this up today, it's that when we take the time to open our hearts, open our minds, get curious about the world around us rather than be judgmental, get introspective and get curious about the world inside of us rather than be judgmental, that is when all of the magic in the world really starts to become known to us. When all of the universal laws reveal themselves to us. So, the next time you feel that instinct or that urge to shut down, close off, lash out, project, if you can catch yourself, instead, fight that urge and be open to whatever is ready to reveal itself to you. And I bet you, I'd be willing to put money on it, that you'll find yourself not only having life get a little easier for you, but the magic will start revealing itself to you. Thank you guys for joining me for another video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to check out the links in the description. May the energies you serve you well. And let's keep making our way through.